people love him and many people hate him. Who is Donald J. Trump? Donald Trump is much more than the 45th President of the United States. He was a large TV personnel and a high-profiting business guru. He had 3 wives and is the father of 5 children. With much research, I feel I can teach you about who Donald Trump is. As Americans, we will feel more connected to our country if we take time to learn about our leaders and why we feel they are qualified or unqualified to lead us. Donald Trump is the man who led our country for 4 years, and today I'm going to teach you about his childhood, family, education, business success, and his time as president. Trump's story began when he was born on June 14, 1946. Trump's father and grandfather paved the business route for Donald Trump. Funkin Wagnalls from the New World Encyclopedia claims Trump's grandfather was a German immigrant who started a real estate business in the year 1908 in Queens, New York. He changed his last name to Trump from Drumpf to Americanize himself. When Fred Sr. died, his son, Donald Trump's father, Fred Jr., took over the family business. He took out public loans to resell modest family homes. While growing up, Trump's parents ran a very strict household with strict rules, like tight curfews and no snacking between meals. Despite the Trump's best efforts, Donald Trump was very mischievous, and their strict rules didn't really do much for him. He eventually got sent to military school, which he claims helped shape him into a hardworking and dedicated man he is today. Trump continued the Trump family name with 3 marriages. According to biography.com, Trump's first 2 wives were named Ivana and Marla. Trump was first married to Ivana for 15 years, and together they had 3 children: Fred Jr., Ivana, also known as Ivanka, and Eric. Shortly after that marriage was through and they divorced, Donald Trump married Marla Maples. They were married for 6 years, and together they had 1 daughter named Tiffany. Trump married America's First Lady Melania in the year 2005. She was a model from Czechoslovakia, and she definitely caught his eye, and they had 1 son together named Farn. Now that I've discussed Trump's childhood and family, let's take a look at his education. Trump's family wasn't the only reason for his high-profiting business skills. He also got an education. Trump earned an economics degree from the University of Pennsylvania. Trump's education from both the University of Pennsylvania and the knowledge he learned from his family taught Trump to be a high-profiting businessman. WhiteHouseHistory.org stated, Trump first started his time by turning New York bankrupt hotels into successful businesses. He then worked on his special project, which he called Project T, which turned a department store into a high-bustling tower far above the streets of New York City. This tower today is known as the Trump Tower. Trump had his own business show that he used to promote his brand. This was called The Apprentice. Trump also had many Hollywood appearances, playing wealthy, high-class characters very similar to himself. Some of his appearances were Little Rascal and Home Alone, which I'm sure we remember from our childhood. Author Eric Carcer wrote about Trump's business and fame, and how it led him to be the 45th President of the United States. On July 19th, 2016, Trump and his running Vice President Mike Pence were nominated as the Republican candidate. Trump announced that he was running for the office of President for the United States on June 16, 2015, with a speech held at the Trump Tower in New York City. In his speech, he claimed, "The country needs a leader to bring back jobs, manufacturing, military, and can take care of our vets." Donald Trump is someone who he claims to himself that he is very supportive of our vets and a huge military supporter. He also said, "We can take the brand of the United States and make it great again." This was a slogan that came from a former Republican president named Ronald Reagan. On November 8, 2016, Trump defeated his Democratic opponent Hillary Clinton and her running Vice President Tim Kaine. This came as a shock to many because they suspected the Democratic to take the ticket. Trump's views could be considered very one-sided, and it earned him many critics. He took hard stances against gun control, claiming that it was unconstitutional because of the Second Amendment. Obamacare, which was a program instituted during the Obama administration to help Americans reach affordable health care. Immigration, hence the Build the Wall campaign, which was an idea that they needed to build a wall between Mexico and the United States to help stop illegal immigration. He was also very pro-life when it came to abortion. Trump used his Twitter as his preferred social media platform, and often his tweets were very controversial. He actually eventually led to his Twitter account being deleted because of how controversial it was. This was actually after his presidency was over, so that was just a couple months ago. During his last year in term, coronavirus, also known as COVID-19, started a worldwide pandemic. This came as a shock to many, and many Americans were devastated with the economy crashing and hospital bed availability spiking, and decreasing. There was a decrease in available beds, and many, sadly, deaths occurred in the United States and around the world. On April 25th, 2019, Democratic Joe Biden, the Vice President under Barack Obama, announced his running for president. And after a very controversial election, Joe Biden defeated Trump in the November 2020 election. This was actually just a couple months ago. Today I taught you about Donald Trump's childhood, education, business success, and his time as president. So who is this man who has many admirers and many foes? His name is Donald Trump, and he is the 45th President of the United States of America.